Well, hello, delegates, and welcome to your February 2022 update. This update is going to include a number of items coming up both in February and in March. WEFMAX 2022 offers an opportunity for WEF volunteers to hold discussions on matters of importance to WEF, the water environment profession, and our communities. Several Board of Trustees will be attending this year's WEFMAX. Host MA board and staff from Hawaii, South Carolina, and North Dakota will introduce the different sessions, have planned the socials, and are ready to fully welcome all attendees to in-person WEFMAX. Each WEFMAX this year is going to have a theme. WEFMAX in Honolulu, Hawaii will focus on water communications. The WEFMAX in Charleston, South Carolina will focus on emerging leaders, and the WEFMAX in Fargo, North Dakota will focus on DE&I, with these sessions being moderated by seasoned MA leaders and young professionals. There'll be a ton of networking, breakout discussions, and interactive time to discuss challenges, gaps, and come away with some thoughts on how to go implement them within your own MA. Look for less podium, canned PowerPoint time, and more discussions. Additionally, we will include sharing time by member associations to speak to a success or challenge outside of each of the theme topics. Numerous Federation and MA programs have found their origins in discussions that occurred at these WEFMAXs. So please come prepared to be engaged. The YP Summit and Utility Management Conference happens in 2 weeks from now, beginning with the YP Summit on February 21st. We hope to see you there in Orlando, Florida. So please encourage your YPs to attend and connect with their peers. I'll be there throughout the week and would love to connect with any of you who happen to be there as well. Our next HOD Quarterly Meeting is coming up on March 3rd. We'll be discussing WEFMAX, House of Delegates nominations, the Emerging Leaders Work Group, and an update on WEF's strategic plan. We look forward to seeing you there. WEF Awards are now open for nominations. WEF Awards are a passion of mine, being the former chair, and I am excited to tell you that there are more than 30 categories, including both individuals and groups, that you can submit a nomination for. Take a look at the award categories and nominate one of the incredible water professionals on one of your projects. Awards are a great way to recognize the important work we do in our communities and that keep our places able to thrive. In closing, I just want to remind you of a few things that I mentioned as I opened as Speaker of the House. It's about the value of one another, so let's continue to support our member associations and fellow delegates by taking on any challenge ahead of us. The end product we're working toward is humans, so let's remember the products we create are for them. Continue to you be you and show emerging professionals that they have a place that belongs in WEF. And you choose how you want to show up and give to tackle our profession and personal lives together. We have an incredible group of delegates, and I'm so inspired by each one of you. Thank you for allowing me to be your leader and to continue the great work we're doing together. Look forward to seeing you in person, either at UMC or at WEFMAX coming soon. Thanks and have a great month. All right. This month we'll be interviewing Stefanie Farrell. Stefanie is the Director of Strategic Business Development at Blue Frame Technology. She's a delegate from the Clean Water Professionals of Kentucky, Tennessee, and our WEFMAX Committee Chair. We're lucky to have you this month, Stefanie. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you, Stephen.
Can you take a few minutes and introduce yourself to this group and talk a little bit about your journey into WEF?
Sure, absolutely. I started working in the Clean Water Professional about 20 years ago, working for a public municipal utility. And during that experience, I had an awesome mentor. He was the general manager of the utility, and he really encouraged us as young professionals to be involved with associations. And so, you know, as a young professional starting out in the field, was involved in many different associations, but very early on, I gravitated towards the Clean Water Professionals of Kentucky, Tennessee, and that relationship has just continued over the past 20 years, just gotten stronger, and it's been a great place for me to grow professionally and network and meet new people and have really strong professional relationships. So it's just been a privilege for me.
Yeah, well, tell us a little bit about some of the roles that you've had in Kentucky, Tennessee.
Sure. So I started out working on the Young Professionals Committee, hosted a couple of summits for the Kentucky, Tennessee MA. And then after that committee, I worked on the Watershed Management Committee, just because that was where it aligned well with my professional goals. And so served as a role as committee chair for a couple of years in that, and then was asked to be part of the presidential cycle. So did the 5-year commitment to work my way up as president of the Clean Water Professionals, and then served in that capacity for a year, and then 1 year as past president, and then most recently was asked to take a position as the Tennessee delegate, and so have been doing that for the past year and a half, and getting my footing under me from the WEF perspective, being more involved in WEF from national perspective. So in that role, I work as the WEFMAX committee chair.
Well, obviously, WEFMAX has looked a little different the past few years than probably we all expected it to. But this year we're getting back to in-person WEFMAX. So can you tell us what to expect from the WEFMAX committee this year, and maybe some of the themes for each of our WEFMAXs?
Sure, absolutely. What an awesome journey and privilege that I've been able to have to be able to work on this committee. Last year, we were able to pivot under the direction of Mike Milius as we switched to a virtual platform. That was a good experience for us. I think that we were able to provide some value for the WEF members and the delegates, the MA leaders through the virtual platform, but we're super excited about the opportunity to meet in person again this year. We do have 3 in-person events planned. They will be featuring some of Jamie Eichenberg's focus areas. And so we'll be focusing in Hawaii on communication. And so I was excited about having Stephen as a facilitator for that event. And then we'll be in South Carolina focusing on emerging leaders. And lastly, in North Dakota, we'll be looking at DE&I. And so those are topics that are very near and dear to the WEF leadership's hearts. And so we're sort of going to be bringing in those themes and exploring them a little further during the WEFMAXs. And so I did also want to add, Stephen, we have gone through the Reimagine effort, which was a really awesome opportunity to get with MA leaders that have been involved with WEFMAX in the past and really do sort of a deep dive into how we structure these events. And so excited to bring a more versatile format that would allow for people to engage a little bit more than a traditional lecture style. So looking forward to what that will be like for us this year, and super excited to bring it to the MA leadership and delegates.
Well, I think we can all say that WEFMAX is one of the best events that WEF puts on. And certainly as the House of Delegates, we're always really focused on that event through the spring. And but the planning goes way earlier than that. I mean, you've been working on this committee for a number of years now, and really got full in force this fall getting started. And so thank you to you and the whole committee for all the work that you've done, especially trying to implement some new ideas to reimagine what WEFMAX could be like. And we're just excited to get back to that. Is there a certain memory of WEFMAX that you have, or something that you're looking forward to in the next round here?
Yeah, I think the most exciting thing is definitely being back in person again this year. I think the virtual format has its place. It's served its purpose for us to keep things going, keep members engaged, but the opportunity to be able to just, be in person with all colleagues is a real privilege. And I would like to say, Stephen, too, I'd be remiss if I didn't note the WEF staff that have been amazing to sort of help keep this process going along. And Diane Cridley's been awesome, and Lisa Ruan helping us sort of make sure that we have everything we need to be successful. And in addition, the WEFMAX committee members that have been working beside me, taking responsibilities, just really rolling their sleeves up and being willing to contribute to the whole planning effort. So it's been a privilege for me, and appreciate everyone working together to make this a reality. So,
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned WEF staff. I mean, certainly we couldn't pull this off without the folks like Diane and Lisa and Kelsey, and in the past, Meg leading YP efforts, and now Brad helping with the emerging leaders. It's an exciting time to be going to WEFMAX, and just couldn't be happier to have the staff supporting us in this. So
absolutely, they're so responsive. It's really just, it's amazing. Great to work with.
Well, thank you so much for joining the interview this month, and look forward to seeing you in person at a WEFMAX coming soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.